Welcome back. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Trade Rep Jamieson Greer kick off trade talks with China tomorrow in Switzerland. One major point has been that the U.S. has underlined the fact that the systematic oppression of Uyghur Muslims is happening in the country, from forced labor and surveillance to mass detentions in the so-called re-education camps. The Chinese Communist government continues to deny this is happening and any wrongdoing, but human rights groups say this is one of the worst crackdowns in modern history. My next guest knows all about it. His parents were Uyghurs. He is the Hudson Institute Senior Fellow and author of No Escape, The True Story of China's Genocide of the Uyghurs, Nuri Turko. Nuri, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, it's been 3 years since your book came out. I want to get your take on what changed. But first, tell us the history of what happened to your parents.
Thank you very much for having me back. Since my book was published, the one thing that I have to highlight that has happened is that I was able to reunite with my mother last year around the time of holiday, after being separated 20 years, which is a good thing. But the overall situation has not been improved. The Uyghur people are still subject to mass atrocities, modern-day slavery, tech genocide, some of the worst form of biomedical research that has been reported as well. And the international community has responded, starting from the first Trump administration, some of the policies carried on in the Biden administration, and we are looking for some of the new policy initiatives, or at least implementation of some of the strong tools, such as the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act.
And Nuri, how do you know all of that? How do you know what has taken place in these re-education camps?
I have lived through it. I was born in a camp at the height of China's infamous Cultural Revolution. I spent the first several months of my life in a re-education camp with my mother, who is now here in the United States with me. While all of this was happening, my father was performing forced labor in a village, after being a university-educated university professor at the time. So I lived in both communist China and free America. I have studied, I have studied the issues involving the Uyghurs and overall Chinese human rights abuses more than 20 years.
Of course, yes.
Even as we speak today at Hudson Institute, focusing on China's human rights abuses is one of the research areas that I regularly engage in.
Right, and that's why I want to talk about China. You've studied this situation so much. As you say, you lived it. You've got a new op-ed about how the Chinese AI, Deepseek, has been a wake-up call for the U.S. and the tech sector here, and that the U.S. needs smarter AI controls. Tell me about Deepseek and how you read this.
The Deepseek is a competitor to American AI, generative AI, Open AI, or ChatGPT. When you look at it, initially it was everybody was so excited and tuning into some of the Chinese propaganda, Chinese narrative, that this is the cheapest alternative, open source. But when you start digging through and even looking for information that are widely available in American AI, such as Tiananmen Square, Taiwan, Tibet, or anything relates to the Uyghurs, it shows up and then starts leading. So that gives an idea that the Chinese are not building something fascinating, but they are building a censorship. Whereas American AI, with its all faults, is open. It's open. It doesn't censor. There are a lot of issues need to be addressed because this is emerging technology. There are regulatory aspects still need to be addressed. Privacy issues needs to be addressed. Data issues need to be addressed. But the American leadership is much needed today in the AI field, specifically with the smart chips control policies. AI chips today is a new oil. If you let the authoritarian regime to dominate that market, we'll be importing not just goods, but governance model. A new arms race isn't just missiles, it's microchips, and America must build and not to beg.
Yeah, no, you're right, Nuri.